This transformed my financial life. I learned how to make money online without showing my face, working just 2 hours a day from home, and now I have a consistent income. The link is in the first pinned comment.
What's up, Flame Crew? Mr. Flame here. And we are back for another dive into the swirling vortex of animated movie hype. The creative energy pouring into sequels, reboots, and remakes of animated classics is off the charts. And today we're looking at another 7 properties that are either confirmed to be on the way or are the subject of such fervent, powerful fan discussion that they feel less like rumors and more like inevitable prophecy. These aren't just cartoons. These are cultural landmarks about to be revisited and re-engineered for a new era. Get ready to feel the pure, unadulterated flame of hype, because the next wave is going to be absolutely massive and genre-defining. Sliding into 2028, we have a sequel that has been the quiet, persistent request of an entire generation of animation fans. A film that redefined the visual potential of a simple story about a mouse and a rat. Ratatouille 2: The Taste of Tomorrow. The original was a masterpiece of flavor, texture, and emotional depth, and the internet chatter suggests a sequel that takes the ambitious path of exploring the future of food, not just in Paris, but globally, as Remy and Alfredo Linguini find themselves at the forefront of a culinary revolution where tradition clashes with technological innovation. The biggest rumor is that the film will introduce a rival chef who utilizes fully automated, AI-driven cooking, a nemesis who represents the soulless efficiency of modern life, threatening the organic, heartfelt artistry of Remy's kitchen. The fan expectation is immense for the sequel to maintain the incredibly sophisticated animation style, perhaps pushing the boundaries of realism in depicting food to an even greater extent, making every dish look like a piece of high art. Whispers from those close to the studio indicate a possible storyline where Remy's hidden identity is once again jeopardized, forcing the entire Rat Pack to protect the legacy of Gusto's from a corporate takeover. If this sequel can match the original's perfect balance of humor, culinary wonder, and deep emotional resonance about finding your true calling, it will be an instant classic that reminds everyone why this studio remains the gold standard in character-driven animated cinema. For 2029, we turn our attention to an absolute, undisputed icon of animated comedy, a franchise that is too big, too profitable, and too beloved to ever truly end. Minions 4. While the core Despicable Me saga has had its own conclusions, the Minions themselves are an unstoppable cinematic force, and the rumored 4th solo outing promises to be their most ambitious, and possibly most destructive, adventure yet. The biggest rumor centers on a high-concept plot that sees the Minions accidentally time-traveling, scattering themselves across various historical eras, leading to a chaotic, anachronistic comedy that sees them interacting with cavemen, pharaohs, knights, and maybe even dinosaurs. A truly limitless canvas for their signature brand of manic, yellow chaos. Fan expectations are focused entirely on the sheer volume of absurd slapstick humor, demanding a non-stop barrage of gags that pushes the limits of physical comedy and their unintelligible language, a spectacle of pure joyful anarchy. Speculation suggests that the film will lean into a faux historical documentary style, with the Minions inadvertently causing or solving some of the greatest mysteries of human civilization, a brilliant meta-joke that allows the story to be told with maximum absurdity. There are also persistent whispers about a new, megalomaniacal villain who is so powerful they pose a threat across the entire timeline, forcing the scattered Minions to use their collective incompetence to somehow save reality. If this installment can manage to be even more over-the-top, visually inventive, and utterly ridiculous than its predecessors, it will be another guaranteed billion-dollar hit that proves that sometimes all you need is tiny, yellow chaos to conquer the world. In 2030, a highly anticipated animated film that has been in various stages of development for years is rumored to finally be coming together, a sequel that will return us to the bright, musical, and delightfully colorful world of the Trolls. Trolls 4: Rock and Roll Forever. Following the massive success of the previous films in expanding the various musical subgenres and tribes of the troll world, the persistent rumor for the fourth chapter is that the Trolls will finally venture outside of music entirely, discovering a hidden tribe of trolls who communicate and live entirely through another art form. Perhaps visual art, dance, or even digital media, leading to a hilarious and heartfelt clash of creative cultures. The intense fan expectation is centered on the music, of course, with the community demanding a new soundtrack that introduces another major, commercially popular genre. The biggest whispers point toward a return to 80s pop, or maybe even the underground world of lo-fi indie rock, ensuring the film's soundtrack will once again dominate the music charts. Rumors suggest a storyline where Poppy and Branch must confront a deeper, more existential crisis of artistic expression, a villain who tries to impose uniformity on all forms of creative output, forcing the entire troll kingdom to defend the messy, beautiful chaos of individuality. There are also whispers about new, incredibly detailed and tactile animation techniques being used to create the new artistic environments, making the film a feast for the eyes as well as the ears. If the creative team can manage to weave a narrative that is both profoundly catchy and genuinely touching about the power of self-expression, this will be another smash hit that solidifies the franchise as the modern king of the animated musical. Jumping to 2031, we arrive at a long-rumored, highly demanded sequel that represents a major return to the core mythological and comedic heart of a studio known for its fantasy epics, Kung Fu Panda 4. The original trilogy provided a satisfying arc for Pa, but the persistent fan theory is that the saga of the Dragon Warrior is far from over, and the sequel will push Pa to a new, higher level of mystical challenge. The biggest rumor is that the plot will involve Pa being called to the spirit realm itself, a place only glimpsed in the previous films, to confront a timeless, ethereal villain who threatens the balance between the mortal and spiritual worlds, forcing Pa to master an entirely new form of spirit kung fu. Fan expectation is through the roof for the action sequences, demanding not just a return to the franchise's signature, breathtaking martial arts choreography, but also the introduction of stunning, psychedelic visual design to depict the spirit realm in a way that is unlike anything seen before in animated cinema. Whispers from the studio suggest the return of the original core cast as mentors and spiritual guides, a beautifully full-circle moment that honors their legacy, while pushing Pa to become the ultimate master he was destined to be. The community is also buzzing with theories about a new, young apprentice who is even more clumsy and unlikely than Pa was, allowing the Dragon Warrior to fully embrace his role as a teacher and master. If this sequel can blend epic spiritual action with the franchise's trademark heart and humor, it will be a triumphant return to form and a powerful continuation of one of the most beloved animated martial arts sagas ever created. In 2032, a live-action remake of a film that has always been considered too ambitious, too visually unique, and too narratively complex to successfully translate is rumored to finally be on the fast track, Mulan Reimagined. While a previous live-action version existed, the buzz suggests a new, completely different take that aims to be a full-blown, musically charged fantasy epic that directly honors the spirit and the phenomenal music of the 1998 animated classic, something the fan base has been fiercely demanding. The key rumor is that this production will lean heavily into the fantasy elements, featuring a much more prominent role for Mushu, the biggest point of contention in the previous live-action attempt, with whispers suggesting a major, surprising voice actor has been tapped to bring the tiny dragon back to life with all his irreverent charm. Fan expectations are focused on the musical numbers. The community is demanding breathtaking, massive-scale choreographed sequences for songs like I'll Make a Man Out of You and Reflection, shot on location to capture the truly epic scale of the story and the Chinese landscape. Rumors also suggest a more prominent role for the ancestral spirits and a darker, more menacing portrayal of the Huns, making the stakes feel genuinely world-ending. If this new attempt can deliver on the promise of a sweeping, spectacular musical fantasy that finally captures the power, the humor, and the heartfelt balladry of the original, it will be a massive win that proves that Hollywood is finally listening to its most passionate fans when it comes to adapting these cherished animated classics. Looking to 2033, we have an original, fictional sequel that exists purely in the space of fan speculation, but has achieved such traction that it feels absolutely real. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Sandy Claus Revenge. The internet has been buzzing for years about the potential for a return to the visually stunning, macabre world of Jack Skellington. And the core rumor is a story set years after the original, where Jack's attempts to bring Halloween and Christmas together have resulted in a new, unintended holiday, perhaps Thanksgiving or Easter. That is an absolute, horrifying mashup of his two favorite traditions, leading to a truly chaotic narrative. Fan expectation is sky high for a return to the stunning stop-motion animation style, demanding a project that is a pure artistic vision, filled with the signature dark humor, inventive creature design, and hauntingly beautiful music that made the original a timeless classic. Speculation suggests the primary antagonist will be a corrupted version of Santa Claus, perhaps a villain driven mad by the stress of endless holiday chaos, or a new, menacing ruler from an entirely different holiday town who sees Jack's meddling as a threat to their sovereignty, forcing Jack and Sally to work together to restore order to the holiday world. The creative pressure is intense to craft a sequel that honors the gothic romance and unique visual identity of the original without simply repeating its beats. If this were to happen, it wouldn't just be a movie. It would be a beloved annual cultural event that would immediately become the subject of endless fan analysis and celebration. Finally, in 2034, we look to the distant, futuristic sequel of a quiet classic that has a dedicated following who appreciate its sophisticated humor and quirky charm. Lilo and Stitch, The Next Wave. After the confirmed live-action remake, the next logical step in the animated timeline is a direct continuation of the core story, and the major fan rumor is that the sequel will be a legacy story, focusing on a grown-up Lilo who is now a young mother, raising her own daughter on the beautiful island of Kauai, when an entirely new wave of powerful, dangerous, and even sentient alien experiments arrive on Earth, forcing her to rely on an older, wiser, and slightly more mischievous Stitch. The expectation is a story that explores themes of parenthood, cultural heritage, and the passing down of knowledge, blending the beautiful, authentic depiction of Hawaiian culture with high-stakes sci-fi action, maintaining the perfect, unique blend of genres that define the original. Whispers from the production side suggest a potential plot involving Jumba's mysterious, final batch of experiments, which are not designed for destruction but for creation, forcing Lilo and her daughter to protect these new, vulnerable creatures from a new galactic bounty hunter who wants to weaponize them. If this sequel can successfully transition to a new generation while maintaining the incredible emotional core, the stunning visual aesthetic, and the deep love for family and ohana that made the original a masterpiece, it will be a beautiful and powerful continuation of one of the most unique animated stories of the last few decades. That's another look into the incredible, hype-fueled future of animation, Flame Crew. From the kitchens of Paris to the time-traveling chaos of the Minions and the martial arts mastery of Po, these are the films that are not just sequels, but statements about the enduring power of these animated worlds. Now, which of these hyped-up projects are you most desperate to see materialize? Are you hungry for Ratatouille 2? The Taste of Tomorrow? Ready for the spiritual journey in Kung Fu Panda 4? Or is the gothic horror of The Nightmare Before Christmas? Sandy Claus Revenge calling your name? Let me know your thoughts and your wildest theories down in the comments. And remember, for all the hottest scoops, leaks, and fake posters that look almost too real, you gotta hit that like button, subscribe to Nerd Flame, and turn on all notifications. Don't let the flame die out.
I didn't know this was even possible. I learned how to make money online. The link is right below in the first pinned comment.